Welcome back to American Christian or Christian American. If you please hit that subscribe button and the like button if you enjoy these videos, this will help more people see them. Also, if you subscribe to them, you can get my videos in your subscription list and you'll be able to see them faster. Also, notification bell to let you know when they come out. We're going to talk about some stuff, I was going to say disturbing, but then a lot of things I'm going to be presenting are disturbing if you care about people. We're going to be talking about the Willie Lynch letter, and this is only part of the letter. This is I looked it up online. I actually have a paper copy of the whole thing, and I'd recommend that you get it if you want to learn more about this. It's not very big. It's really about that thick. It's I don't know 20 pages, or maybe less than that, but it is crucially important because it has had a profound effect on people's lives because of the principles in this letter. So we're going to look at that, or look at this episode where this guy's talking about this. It's not a video, but I'm going to read it, and then we'll talk. I have some other videos, and then we're going to talk about it. All right. So we're talking here. This man here was discussing history about Willie Lynch. So he said, I recently read for the third time the Willie Lynch letter, The Making of a Slave. The letter is said to be a speech delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach methods to slave owners there. In his speech, Willie Lynch, or it says Lynch, said that he had a foolproof plan for controlling black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. He said that his method was simple and that any member of the slave owner's family or of their overseer can use it. So now we're going to look at an excerpt from the letter, part of the letter. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fears, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies and will work throughout the South. Take this simple list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, but it's only there because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, sizes of plantation, status of plantation, attitudes of owners, whether slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, or south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slaves receiving this indoctrination shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have white overseer who distrusts all blacks, but it's necessary that your slaves trust and depend on you. They must love, respect, and trust only us, gentlemen. These kits are our keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's make a slave. I asked this man talking again who is putting this article together. I asked this question in 2015. Are the teachings of Willie Lynch letter still applicable? Do we distrust each other? Do we trust each other differently because of the skin shade or hair texture? I remember a personal experience where many years ago I interviewed with a major wealth management firm in Atlanta. In my interview, the owner said, "Why do you think you will do well in this business?" I responded, and he followed with a statement. "My experience tells me that African Americans don't do well in business because African Americans don't trust each other." This shocked me because I was sitting across from a white man who was telling me to my face something that was true for some African Americans. I have been in business for many years, and it would be disappointing for me to share some of the things I've experienced. I have also been black for 40 years, and I have seen the Willie Lynch letter at work. If this letter is still holding true at any level, all remnants of this philosophy must be eradicated immediately. We must all trust and love each other, both black and white. So after reading the Willie Lynch letter, or parts of it, again, I encourage you can get it off of Amazon, the Willie Lynch letter. It's not a big document, but it gives more details of what was discussed. But this is kind of the heart of it. And see, what they did back then, a lot of times, I don't know all the details, but the lighter skinned slaves would be brought to work in the house, where the darker skinned slaves had to work out in the fields. And so there was made animosity and jealousy. And so the lighter skinned slaves always felt that they were better because they were promoted that way. But they were still slaves. And then the dark skinned slaves were less. That carries on today. I've heard people I know talk about it where they've been in relationships where the darker skinned partner wonders why they want to be with them because they're darker skinned. These things have been carried out to generation. I don't think this is just because people are African American. We have those problems all over with all people. When people are traumatized by their parents because of their trauma, and then it goes down generational. All these things can be generational because we're affected as we're a young person and what we experience. And sometimes the parents don't even know what they're doing, whether it's this or something else. White people face the same things, but not in the same context, not in as huge of a portion. But human beings, when they're exposed to things negatively, and when they're put down and discouraged and whatever else, it carries out and can affect their whole life unless they find a way to break the cycle. So this is something that has been extremely damaging to people because of this way of mental control. See, we think we've moved on a lot of times, but we haven't. Sometimes some African Americans will trust what a white person says over what their black counterparts will because of that distrust that's been there. And so people have a harder time getting together and working together. It simply isn't true. In fact, many times the white counterparts have meant to do them harm. That's not true of all of us. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not saying I don't make mistakes without knowing it, but I wouldn't try to do that. And there are other people like that. But there are way too many people who, yes, will do harm. And so it's important for people to come together. And really, that's what God teaches us, how to come together. Now, I've got another two clips I put together. One is going to show you conditioning of white children, and the other is going to show you conditioning of black children. And both of them are terrible. Both of them are what impacts our society and perpetuates this disgusting racism and this hatred we have. And also it perpetuates self-worth, feeling like you're not good enough, you're not worth something. So let's look at these clips and then we'll talk.
Now, this can't be real, bruh. This has to be staged. Ain't no way.
Ugly child.
That one.
Show me the dumb child.
Dumb child.
Okay, why is she the dumb child?
Because she has black skin.
Okay. Show me the bad child. Why is he the bad child?
Because he's really dark.
Show me the dumb child. Why is she the dumb child?
Because she looks black.
Show me the good child.
She said black. Damn.
Why is she the good child?
Because she looks whiter.
Who's the ugly child?
That one.
Which doll is the black doll? And which one is the white doll?
That one.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and she has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Like me.
Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
So now we got a chance to look at these 2 clips of these children. These children are really innocent, but they're being mentally programmed. Both white and black children. You notice that the white children, they were asked, which one is the ugly child? Or which one is the dumb child? And they pointed to the dark-skinned child, the darkest skinned child possible. So white children from early on are being told that black people are inferior. And so even though, say, arguments might be out there, the problem is that too many people become indoctrinated in those early formative years. And so they start to carry out these things. Naturally, African Americans are inferior. Naturally, African Americans are bad or whatever else, because that's what they were told when they were younger. Now, people can break free from that, but if you're a person who just doesn't want to deal with anything, then you're going to go with the flow that's the easiest flow, and the flow that is easiest is how you've been indoctrinated as a young child. All right. So now look at the black children. The black children pointed to the ugly doll, the bad child, all this was the black child. And then the white child was the good one. All right. And then especially the one child they show asked, which child looks like you? And the girl hesitated, like me. And then she pointed out to the black child. So what is she supposed to grow up feeling about herself? Because this is the perception she has about herself. Willie Lynch's philosophy is being carried out still today. Now, of course, the white children are being programmed a different way, but the black children are being told to hate themselves, and you can't trust other black people because they're the bad ones. And how are they supposed to feel about themselves? How are they supposed to have a good self-image about themselves? Well, one thing we can talk about is God, how God loves us. But even in churches today, predominantly African-American churches, they struggle because so many people in the churches even don't feel good about themselves, because this is a generational thing that's been passed around from generation to generation. If your parent, whether you're black or white, doesn't feel good about who they are, they will teach you how not to feel good about yourself. And then if you don't deal with that, you will teach your children, and they will teach their children, and they will teach their children. And so it cripples people's lives, because if we don't deal with the fact of our self-worth, of who we are, then it cripples our lives. I know. I struggle deeply with that because of things that happened in my life, because a parent who just didn't feel good about themselves. And so it affected me. Now, the difficult thing is there's not always opportunities for people to deal with these things, so they carry them out. It's not putting them down, but it's saying when people are put down by different people, they carry those things, multi-generational. And then today, especially with African-American children and African-Americans, the society, not only did they carry it down because of generational things, but the society reinforces negative ideas and tries to break any strength in the African American community as possible. Now, does this apply to us today and in more general? I think the Willie Lynch papers apply even outside of, say, African Americans per se. I think it affects all of our society because the same concept is being used. How do I mean that? If the poorer people in this country or the people in the middle class or whatever else can keep fighting with each other, black people hating white people hating black people, poor being jealous of people who make a little bit more money than them, all these things, and we sit here distrusting each other and stuff, we don't aim at where it belongs, is that the people above who are powerful, controlled people want to keep all people down. Yes, they probably want to do more for people who are not white, but everybody is included in that. They will keep people down, deny them their rights, deny them education, deny them Social Security if they can, deny them good health care if they can, all so they can make more money. So we do need to look at this as a problem with racism in this country. But we also need to look at it as a problem of economics for all people, too. All of these things are included. Why do we waste so much time fighting with each other? We should be coming together under God in the church and then standing up for what's right, standing collectively as all Americans in this country, standing for God and standing up for the injustices that anybody goes through. Whether you're white, black, Native American, Asian, we are all human beings. And we have to start letting go of all this perpetually passed on garbage that continues to hurt people and hurt us. Until the next time, on American Christian or Christian American, be sure to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and like if you like these videos. Be blessed.